How's it going, everybody? Blake Scholar Magic, and today I just wanted to go over some pretty amazing cards. These are cards that are going to be going to my Roshin deck, and basically revolves around X spells. And in this case, we're going to have lots of Hydras too. So I just wanted to kind of introduce some sweet cards, and maybe cards you don't see very often, but I have played against them. I've now played with them, and I just fall in love with them. They're just so very cool. So here's Gargos, the Vicious Watcher, 3 generic, 3 forest. Legendary creature Hydra from the core set M20. Vigilance, Hydra spells you cost 4 less to cast. So pretty big price reduction on your Hydras. Really good for our X spell Hydras too, to get that kind of discount. Because usually they're not really worth their weight without some sort of gimmick put onto them. So that's very welcome. To have like definitely a discount on our generic mana costs for our Hydra is really good. Whenever a creature you control becomes a target of a spell, Gargos, a Vicious Watcher, fights up to 1 target creature you don't control. So a little bit of insurance there too. So if they kind of want to use single target removal on our things, that would just basically, or single target interaction of that matter at all. If any of our things get targeted, this thing will simply start fighting a different creature we don't control, which is very cool. Really a nasty kind of tax. Additionally, we have the Lifeblood Hydra. Just another amazing Hydra. These are just going to be so good in the Roshin deck. She just creates so much mana. She can usually just sink in like 10 mana into your spells on turn 5. So turn 5, you usually have about, if you're going really well with your mana dorks and such, you could have like 16 mana available. So usually you can fire these off for about 13 mana, and I'll include a short for this so you can kind of see that illustrated. But you can definitely fire these off on like turn 5 and have like, with a handful of X spells, which we do often more than not, we'll just simply get that full 13 value. And that's a lot to put into a spell such as this. You can imagine you get a very nasty 13/13 Hydra with trample, and then when it dies, you gain life and draw equal cards to its power. So it's kind of like a bomb. It's like kind of like a ticking time bomb in that manner. Really nasty thing. Really like that card advantage too, and the life seems really good. Here's Moloch, and this is an X and red-green creature Tyrannid. What this one has been around since I started like Commander. Like I think I got a hold of a Moloch, just slammed into a Gruul deck, and I remember it was so fun. My first Commander night, people were like, "You have like this 7/7 all of a sudden," because I was playing Maria and I was like busting a bunch of mana up, and all of a sudden I had this cool 7/7 on the battlefield, and still lost the goblins, but it was still fun. And Moloch was there, and now I can have like a. I've done, kind of the math here, and if I, for instance, had 13 mana available on turn 5, this would be a 15/15. And additionally, when it would come onto the battlefield, it would fight, and if that card would die this turn, it's exiled. So it's pretty amazing. And the thing is if you pump it through with cards, you get to over 5, you get to draw with it too. So it's crazy. As that Ravenous, this creature enters the battlefield with X 1/1 counters on it. If X is 5 or more, draw a card. So it's a fight spell and it draws a card? That's crazy. So good. Here's Uroboroid, the sickness, guys. Our honorary Hydra Serpent Tyrannid. It is. I'm just slamming it in. I just envision it'll be fun. Sometimes you have to think of a card and you're like, it's good stuff, and it just sounds really interesting. Like Uroboroid. And we have some ways to pump this up in certain circumstances. More rare than not, but it will still be good. We could go wide in some circumstances and go pretty wide. So I just wanted an overrun effect, and I like the Uroboroid. It's 4 mana. It's fine. What a bomb. All right, and then Primordial Hydra. This thing is really sweet, right? Primordial Hydra. It enters the battlefield with X 1/1 counters on it. At the beginning of your upkeep, double the number of 1/1 counters on Primordial Hydra. Yeah, that could kind of get out of hand fast if we really did that full executor on this. Yeah. Primordial Hydra has trample as long as it has 10 or more 1/1 counters on it. Ugh, disgusting. And that was kind of like the feature for today. These are some like amazing cards that will be in the Roshin deck. And overall, I'm just kind of excited. I did notice this deck does run a lot of like green tutors. So I wanted like to keep it kind of open. I wanted like some high impact targets that weren't X spells like Gargos. I think Ouroboros is pretty cool. I can imagine like, doing like a green sun maybe on an early turn cycle and, kind of getting into something like an Ouroboros. I think that would be very cool. So we definitely have some, very interesting just like X spell tutors. There's so many of these, it seems, that they just bring out a creature, and they're just interesting in that manner. The other all-star for this deck is the Reap the Pass. It's like really strong because what Roshin does is it mills 5 cards when it comes onto the battlefield already. So you basically can go Roshin and then you can tap her, when she's available to tap, and basically return all the cards that she put into the graveyard. It's like a self-fulfilling spell. It's probably like, this card is 20 cents, but it plays like $100 card in this deck. It is absolutely busted. Sometimes this just happens, guys. Like, Wizards and MTG is weird. It feels like it's just kind of like so all over the place. There's so many different cards. But they all seem like mostly good in some manner. There's some way for it to be pretty decent, right? In this deck, it's just completely bananas. So yeah, you're going to love the Reap the Past. Fantastic card. Oh, this is disgusting. These X spells, when they can be, you can really sink some mana into them, they really gain so much more value. You can get 6 of these like pretty easily. You can just do it. You can just like, sink like 7 mana into this pretty easily, and then all of a sudden have a bunch of 1/1, pest tokens. So it's just some really nice stuff overall. It's really cool. What else is going on with this deck? Just some really cool stuff overall. I mean, Cordo Calling, another green tutor. That's insane. Pretty decent graveyard presence, so you can play like your Balagad and Pinnacle Monks. Oh wait, another creature tutor. So obviously we want to put some tutors in here that aren't X spells, but overall we went with a Hydra vibe. So we have some really amazing Hydras overall. You're just gonna love, the Goldvine Hydra, for instance, just very cool and standard right now. Very cool card. Just some other kind of choices that I kind of liked. I just kind of like the idea of like making additional bodies over time and like kind of punishing our opponents for interacting with our stuff. And I like the Devastator too. It's just this cool like flyer. Also Hydra, by the way. Yeah, some really sweet Hydras with like a little Tanuk kind of vibe. And the reason why we have Tanuk too is because like cards like World Soul's Rage. It's really sweet for this deck. We also have Awaken the Woods. And also, just like an absolutely other stupid busted card. Let's just kind of turn the tags off just for a second. The last card I kind of want is the Genesis Wave. Where is that? It's probably it's a sorcery. This card also just, pump like 13 mana in this. Like I said earlier, I've done it before with like a Tyler's Provisioner very easily, with a Roshin combo. And, you're just busting a Genesis Wave out, and you're busting out like 9 permanents on your battlefield. It's just really good, especially when you get like your Ice Tills going. And your like Nissas and the Tanuk. The Tanuk is just busted. This thing draws cards too. It's crazy. Crazy for 28 cents. You should buy this card too. Guys, I hope you enjoy this. It's kind of like a short mashup. It's probably one of our shorter videos, but I hope you enjoy this content. Hit me with a like or subscribe. Our first big giveaway after our Baldur and Fran Commander deck is our Tycho, the Patient Avalanche. And that will be a complete Commander deck giveaway once we hit 750 subs. So let your friends know about the channel. Get them on the action. Make sure you make a comment. Say what's up. And we'll see you later, guys. Adios. Bye-bye.